What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about Billy bullshitters in prison. Now, obviously, my advice is always the same: just stay away from prison. It's crap, it's boring, it's violent, it's depressing. It's not a holiday camp, you know. It's not Butlins without the swimming pool, like people like to say. People that say that, it's all bravado, you know. It's all, I guarantee you, while they were in prison, they'd have been whinging and moaning how crap it is. But you always get a bullshitter, a Billy bullshitter on every wing, I guarantee it. And you even get them on YouTube. You know, and I keep seeing these people saying the same thing over and over. Oh, you're a real one, you are. Oh yeah, shout out to so-and-so, you're one of the real ones. Mate, real ones don't sit on YouTube every day calling people bacons back and forth. You know, real ones don't do that. Real ones are out doing real shit. So, yeah, stop with this whole, you're a real one, you are. Half of these people, they're about as real as Dr. Rackpool's boxing career. You know, there's no real about him. I know I'm not a real dude, so I don't try and portray that image, you know. I'm not a Billy bullshitter. And when I say stuff, even though sometimes people might not believe it, I've been called out before, but you can stand on what I say, you know, because I'm not trying to look tough. I'm not trying to look hip. I'm just trying to tell the truth of what it's like in prison. But I do get called out. I remember one guy, I'll not say his name. I'm told about when I was on the wing, and this guy came in and he had drugs up his arse. And when I say up his arse, I don't mean like right up in his colon. I mean he had drugs between his bum cheeks or wherever he put it. And he came on the wing, and everybody knew he had a parcel. So a couple of the Donny lads, I could name him now, but I'm not gonna, because he's a vicious psycho. You know, I'm not gonna put him on blast, and then he sees it and he wants to come and kill me. I mean, he's probably dead now. Most of the old drug addicts are, but I'm not gonna risk it. But I could name him and a couple of lads. And if I did name him, all the Donny lads would be like, yeah, that sounds like something he'd do. This kid came on the wing with a package, and him and a couple of the Donny lads went into his cell, like bullied his pad mate, told him, like, has he got drugs, where are they? And he's told him up his arse. So they've gone and got surgery gloves from the surgery, gone in his cell, you know, gripped him up, and they've gone and got the drugs out. And I was on the wing when it happened, you know, they was telling me about it. And it was a big package as well. He was selling it up for ages afterwards. And somebody on YouTube says, oh, I don't believe that, I call BS on it. And he says, there's no way another inmate got a spoon and scooped it out his arse. I never said that. You've made that up on your own. He's pulled it from his arse. I don't think it was all the way up. Probably just between his cheeks. But that's the main story is he's gone in there and he's violated some dude for drugs, going up his arse with what they called surgery gloves. So yeah, I don't mind if people want to call BS. It just shows me that what I've seen, what I've been through, what I've witnessed, it is unbelievable. But that's what prison's like, you know. It's things happening there that are just mental. And there's always a Billy bullshit. I always remember this one kid called Smithy. He's dead now, and he was notorious bullshit. I love people like that, me. I'll just sit listening to him for hours, just laughing and nudging your mates. And he was always, you know, he's always like, if you've punched someone, he's punched 20 people. If you've slapped someone, he's broke 90 jaws. He's a bit like Brian Cockrell, but, you know, he's not, even he weren't as bad as that. But yeah, he was always telling the story how he's got all these bouncers, and he used to go, dink donk dink. That's how he used to tell the story. Yeah, I jumped up and went dink donk dink, 3 bouncers knocked out. But he came unstuck in the end, because he was telling about this kid, I forget who it was, but he was another Donny lad, and he was saying, yeah, I got him in the street, I saw him, and dink donk dink, knocked him out. We were all sat there going, yeah. And then that kid came on the wing. So now he's like, somebody went up and said, oh, he's knocked you out, and he told us he'd knocked you out, and he was like, how's he fucked? And he's gone in his cell and weighed him in and just thrashed him. So he did come unstuck in the end. But we used to laugh, because every time he told a lie, we used to say, oh, did it, Smithy? He used to go, ah. Every time he told a lie, he'd go, ah. So then, if ever we heard someone else lying, we'd look at each other and go, ah. But yeah, Smithy did come unstuck. He did get pieced up in a cell. But there was another kid and all, when we got moved to Walton, we all got shipped to Walton on an overcrowded draft. And we was all sat in reception, and this kid, this skinny little nerd with a ponytail, and he was telling us, you know, telling the tale, and we knew straight away he was a bullshitter. And he was on about arguing with someone. He said, oh yeah, yesterday I was arguing with this kid, and I just waited till the morning. I woke up, walked out my cell, walked over to him, picked him up, threw him over the landing, and then went and got my breakfast. And we were all looking at each other like, he's lying, you know, he's a bullshitter. And then we went to Walton prison. I think we actually got lost on the way to Walton. And one of the prisons, there was miles away. It was either Norwich or Walton. We got lost on the way, and we ended up in the sweatbox. If you've never been in a sweatbox, it's like take everything out of your fridge, sit in your fridge and shut the door. That's what it's like in a sweatbox. And we was on it for hours, man. We must have been on it for nearly a full day trying to find this prison. Like I say, I think it might have been Norwich, that one, but it was either Walton or Norwich. And we got lost. And then when we finally got there, I remember seeing the gates, and we was like, hallelujah. Never been so happy to get into a fucking prison. But yeah, there's always the Billy bullshitter. And I would always recommend, if you're going to go to prison, you know, it's crap, it's boring, it's depressing, but, you know, we don't live in a perfect world. Sometimes people end up in prison. If you do go there, you don't need to impress anyone, you know. You need to impress yourself. You need to get out, get back to your family, and try and better yourself while you're there. I never did none of that. I regret that now. I look back and there's all these courses available, all these things, what I could have done, what I could have taken advantage of, but I didn't. I was too busy trying to impress people, you know, just trying to act a fool, like a class clown. And I regret that now. But yeah, there's no need to be lying, trying to, oh yeah, I knocked him out, because it might come back and bite you on the arse like you did with Smithy. And same on YouTube, you know, people they're just blatant liars, and you can see it, but we can check it now. We can go back and fact check it. So all these things, what people have said, we can have a look. And if you keep lying, then it's going to come back and bite you on the arse. But if you tell the truth, you don't have to, you know, you're not going to slip up. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with filling in the gaps and maybe putting a little exaggeration on it just to make it seem more shocking than it really was. But prison is a shocking place, you know, and anybody that thinks prison is a holiday camp, they're just fucking losers, aren't they? I mean, how much of a loser do you have to be to think that prison is fun, prison is good? But it's important to give both ways. You can have a laugh when you're in there, but it is shite, man. It's fucking rubbish. And if you're not about that life, don't try and portray that image. Like, you see people like him, I don't know if it's Darren or Danny, he thinks he's a Viking warrior from Valhalla. He's always talking about beating people up and biting noses up. But then when it comes time to fight, you know, you don't want to know. So if you're not about that life, don't try to be. You know I'm not, so I don't try to be. That's why you don't see me calling people out. Because, you know. But anyway, that's the video for today. Yeah, if you do end up going down that road, going to prison, just don't lie, you know. Don't try and impress anyone. Impress yourself. Get your jail done. Sit in your cell. Do your number. And get out to your family. Bonjour.